If I started running today, this is everything I would do and buy. From choosing the right shoes and gear to setting achievable goals, training smart and avoiding those common mistakes. We'll go through everything you need to make running fun, rewarding and a sustainable hobby that you can enjoy for years to come. Starting out, let's have a quick chat about shoes. It's definitely one of the most important bits of kit for any new runner out there. A decent pair of running shoes is going to provide a lot more support and comfort than a pair of fashion trainers that are really not built to absorb that impact from running and support your foot through the whole gait cycle. Here are a few of my favorite running shoes at 3 different price points. They're all what you would call daily trainers. Shoes that you can do the vast majority of your runs in and can handle all sorts of different paces, distances and surfaces pretty well. Over time, you may want to explore getting some more specialist shoes that you can use specifically for racing or for your speed sessions, but we'll come on to that a little bit later on in your running journey. Starting out with the Adidas SL2, around about £100, or the Puma Velocity Nitro, again for around about £100. A lot of quite cheap running shoes have very basic foams in that are a little bit hard, but you're not going to find that in these 2 shoes here. Really great price points, offering a really nice shock absorbing ride, ones that you can really pick up the pace in and get some of your faster runs done in as well. If you want to spend a little bit more money, get a little bit better quality, a little bit softer and more energy absorbing foams, then have a look at the Asics Nova Blast, around about £135, or the Hoka Mach version 6, around about £140. These shoes will most likely last a little bit longer than the cheaper ones. So if you've got a little bit more money to spend, then have a look at the New Balance 1080 range. We're up to version 14 now, around about £160, or the Asics Gel Nimbus version 26, around about £180. Version 27 is about to launch, but it will be very similar to version 26. Both these options here have very advanced foams, very soft, very squishy. If I had to just pick one shoe from this range, I would probably go for that Nova Blast version 5, but we'll link to our whole beginners running shoe video down below and up here as well. So check it out and see which one suits you best. The next on our list is going to be some good quality running clothing and running kit to get your runs done. Ideally, we're going to be looking for some moisture wicking, some technical tops and bottoms as well. Where to go out and buy really good value things for this? Decathlon is the classic one here. Also check out my website benparks.com. We've got some really good value, good quality, really quite fun kit that is going to look after you well on your run. It's going to help draw that sweat away from your skin, keep you cool as you're running along, and also prevent any chafing issues. Feel free to use code YouTube10 for 10% off your order, and my website will link to everything down below. Next up, we want to be looking at for some running socks. Again, a good quality pair of running socks is really going to wick away that moisture, prevents blisters, and it just makes your whole running experience a lot more fun, comfortable as well. And so we want to be avoiding that cotton and get some good technical fabrics in there. Some really good brands to look at, things like Stance, Balaga, Injinji, Soar, and that good old Decathlon as well. Next up, shorts. Now, I'd really recommend for a lot of people when they start out to find some shorts that have got that lining that's going to cover your legs, really just to prevent any chafing issues there. Or you can use a product, something like Body Glide as well. It's the kind of thing every runner is going to want to have in their locker. Anywhere where there's some skin-on-skin contact, it's just going to make things far more comfortable. Next up, we're going to have a chat all about running watches. Not necessarily the most important thing when we start out, but something most people get within sort of a couple of months after starting out into their running journey. For a lot of people, it's going to make a really good investment to taking your running to that next level. It makes tracking your progress when you're out on your run so much easier versus trying to have sort of look around on your shoulder or into your belt or however you're choosing to carry your phone. It's really hard to get good quality data off that as you run. Plus, when you start doing your speed work sessions and you need that data to see how fast you're running during those sessions, it's great to have that on your wrist ready to go. A couple of current really good entry-level models, something like the Garmin 165, which is a watch I use for all of my daily training at the moment, even though it's Garmin's sort of cheapest entry-level watch. Or you can look at the Coros Pace version 3, so you can check those out. But yeah, they're going to cost quite a lot of money, around about that £200 to £300 price point, but you can definitely find some good refurbished deals or good secondhand deals at websites like Vinted, eBay and CEX. You don't really have to spend big money. Something like the Garmin 55, they'll get you going, and it's more than most people need. Now, of course, Apple, Samsung, Google all make their own versions of these watches where a lot of people already have this in their life. It's going to be perfectly good enough for someone starting out on their running journey. But as I said, in those really early days, you might just want to use your phone when you're out to track your progress and just get into the sport. Now, to do that, you're going to need an app on your phone, things like Strava, Runkeeper, Map My Run. They're going to allow you to track your progress, see how far you've run, see where you've run, and really get you into the sport up and running before you invest in that smartwatch. Next up, have a chat about goals and races and things to aim for with our running to get ourselves into the sport. When I started out, I always found it would help a lot to set myself a goal, to have something to aim for. For me, when I started to take my running really seriously, it was breaking 3 hours for the marathon, something it took me a while to do, but it felt amazing when I went out and did it. Nowadays, I run a little bit more for the love of running, but in those early days, it really helped with that motivation and that focus. Maybe running your first 5K, your first park run, first time running non-stop for 30 minutes, maybe breaking 60 minutes for the 10K, maybe running 3 times a week, running your first marathon, raising a certain amount of money for charity, or maybe you just want to simply go out and meet some new people, improve your social life, or just getting fitter and healthier, moving more, to spend time with other people in your life that are a little bit more active. Whatever it is, have a think now, because running is quite a hard sport, I will say, so it's really good to have that why that's going to get you out the door and get your runs done each day. Consistency is the most important word with running. Consistency over the week, over the month, over the year will be the thing that will really improve what you're doing. The best way to do that is to get yourself a training plan. Now, on my website, benparks.com, we've got completely free, 100% free downloadable training plans for all beginner runners. We'll link to them down below. This is going to give you a really good structure for your week, so you don't have to think too much about what to do. You can go out there, tick your runs off, keep motivated, and maybe ideally give yourself a little goal race, something to aim for at the end of the training plan. They're also going to be really good to teach you to run at different paces in different zones and different distances as well throughout the week. Any good plan is going to have that mix of easy runs, speed sessions, long runs in there as well, and that all important strength work to get that body strong to be able to absorb the impact from running. Beginner runners tend to do a lot of their runs too fast, so I really recommend, if you are one of those people at the start running around getting very out of breath, thinking this is really quite hard, slow your runs down. This will help you build up your mileage, build your fitness far quicker in a safe way, and help avoid that dreaded injury as well. What we really like with our plans and why we feel they're really good is they provide a lot of variety through the week to keep you interested. So over the course of the whole training plan, you're going to have lots of fun stuff to go out and get done. Right, let's have a chat about running form, how we look when we're out running, how we look when we're covering the ground. Now, when a lot of people start out running in those early days, I think the best advice is to simply go out and run and try not to think about this too much. But after a few weeks and months, it's going to be a good idea to work on your technique before any sort of bad habits set in. We have got a whole dedicated video on this. Again, we'll link to this down below and up here. But a few little quick pointers that we can focus on as we run. We want a nice tall posture. We don't want to be all hunched over. We're going to be looking up into the horizon, not down at the floor as we run. We want to be having a forward lean from the ankles, not from the hips. Let gravity do some of the work for us. We want to be falling forward, feel like we're falling forwards into each stride. Now, a lot of people, when they start out, their cadence is a little bit on the low side, maybe in the 150s, 160s. It'd be really good to raise that up to 170 to 180 and that sort of figure. This is really going to help to reduce that ground contact time, the amount of force going through our body as we run, and just enable us to become far more efficient. And then finally, we want to focus on landing nicely underneath our center of mass, not out in front of us. Try not to worry too much about if you're a heel striker, midfoot striker, forefoot striker. The key thing here is to be landing underneath our center of mass, because we don't want to be having that braking force applied by landing too far out in front of us. Right, a couple of other little bits to focus on that are really important when we start out on a running journey. Building into your routine a dedicated warm-up and cool-down session, especially important as we get older. Now, when I was a lot younger, in my sort of 20s, you say, I didn't really worry about this too much. But once you get to that sort of 30-year-old and plus, getting that warm-up done and that cool down is an absolute non-negotiable. We, of course, have got dedicated follow-along videos here on the channel, so you can just put it up on your phone and follow along, and then you're gonna be in a great place to go out on your run and then also finish your run in the right way as well. Also, in a similar vein, to get a good basic strength work into your routine just once a week is going to make so much difference to how you enjoy your running journey. Strengthening those muscles, bones and joints will help prevent injuries and make you a much more efficient runner as well. So setting aside just 20 minutes a week for some basic strength work is going to be really beneficial. Some exercises I'd recommend, just doing some things like some squats, some lunges, some planks, some bridges, some calf raises, all a really good place to start. And then finally, let's have a chat about mindset and motivation. With running, I think more than any other sport, and I've done a lot of sports over the years, there are highs and also some big lows in running. Progress, we have to say, is not always linear. It's a bit of a roller coaster journey with running. You'll have good days, good runs, bad runs. These things happen with running. A lot of people come in, they make a lot of progress quite quickly and think everything is great. And then unfortunately, things like injuries are just a bit inevitable over time. Yes, we can do our strength work and we can look after our body well and recover well to really limit the amount of times this can happen, but it's still inevitable at some point. So if we are going through a little bit of a rough patch, focus on what we can do and not what we can't. So we might only be able to do some cross training, some cycling or swimming, but go out, embrace those and get stuck into that strength work as well, and you'll be back stronger before you know it. Also, remember why you started. At the start of this video, what were those goals? We need to reinvent those every now and then. Keep reinventing that why. Running should always be about whatever you want it to be as an individual, not what other people think running should be. Try not to copy other people. That comparison, looking at other people's Strava, looking what other people are up to, that comparison really is the thief of joy. Remember, everyone is on their own journey. Everyone's going to have ups and downs. So really try not to focus on other people, just focus on yourself. I'd really recommend also running with a friend and a running club can really help with that accountability when you're out. Running is a great social thing. I've met some amazing people over the years. All of my friends now are all runners. Life is a lot happier with running in it. But what's that one thing to focus on with our running that is going to lead to that success and that enjoyment in the long term? As I said halfway through that video, it's all about consistency over a long period of time. Running is a hard sport, but it is so rewarding when you get out there and you cross that finish line. It feels amazing when you've hit your goal. So that's it, guys. Check out all the links down below to all the other videos we've talked about. As everything with this channel, nothing sponsored. All these things are just me talking about my own journey. There's nothing sponsored, nothing hashtag gifted or anything like that. If you want to check out my website, that's how we support all these videos, benparks.com, and feel free to use code YouTube10 for 10% off anything you want to purchase there. That's it, guys. I wish you all the very best on your running journey. Let me know what you're up to. Keep on working hard, keep on what you've done. I'll see you very soon in the next one.